Hi all, I'd like to give tribute to John Naylor. He was a good friend of mine over many years in chess. He came to my house sometimes as juniors. I'd let players from the north of England come. My father was a bit generous like that. And we played blitz to the early hours. And it was fantastic to meet John. He had a fantastically big personality, a warm heart, and an absolute charmer with all the girls at the time. And he was just such a character and prolonged to be such a character. Played for the Jutes of Kent, who has Simon Williams, Ginger GM, as board one. So he's been a terrific chess enthusiast as long as I can remember. Absolutely marvellous guy. He taught me once, actually, we were playing this casual game. He asked me not to try too hard to win, and I didn't really get him at the time. But that was John in a nutshell. He was much more holistic than I ever was about people generally. His social intelligence was very, very high, and he was a fantastic judge of character. I was a terrible judge of character when I was younger compared to him. So he was a really, really great guy. This is one of his games, which he did send me once on Facebook. I never got round to doing a chess video. He talked about beauty in chess, and this is against Mark Webb. It's part of the game score. It's a significant part of the game score. So John was playing black, and Mark Webb played e4. So John played actually e5. We have d4, centre game, e takes, queen takes d4, knight c6, queen e3. John plays g6, very logical move, knight c3, bishop g7. Bishop d2, we have knight g e7, so John keeps the diagonal clear for his bishop. White does castle queenside, very aggressive play from white, wanting to blast black later with h4, h5. Seems very logical. Black castled kingside into it, h4. But now d5, a central break. Queen g3, d4, and now white plays a move, bishop f4, relying on the pinned pawn against the queen. Guess what John played in this position, if I give you 5 seconds to pause the video. Okay, he played d takes c3, a brilliant move, creating lots of practical chances. So rook takes d8. So it's a knight so far and a pawn and now a rook. So is that enough for the queen here, at least in a practical game? So we have rook d1 check is the immediate threat, which needs to be addressed. Otherwise this pawn is kind of mating the white king. We have bishop d3 stopping rook d1. Bishop e6, this sets up some new ideas like knight b4. The cold-blooded move here maybe is to ignore this. Apparently White might do best to ignore that move. That's the computer move, which maybe challenges this bishop instead. But White played actually a3, which seems sensible to stop knight b4. And we have actually rook d4, and this is interesting. It creates a potential target now out of that pawn on a3. White plays knight e2, rook a4, and we have bishop b5, which indirectly protects that pawn and hits the rook. But it does neglect the centre pawn. John snaps up the centre pawn, which can potentially mean this diagonal is now more sensitive than usual. f3, and now knight b4, a fantastic bolt from the blue. Knight b4. So leaving the rook hanging. There's a mate threat here being set up of bishop a2. You can see that the pawn on b2 is held by the bishop on g7. So knight b4, this cannot be taken. We have white playing c3. Perhaps the best move is a takes b4 to accept the challenge. And it looks very, very dangerous. For example, well, there are all sorts of dangers if c4, like bishop f5 check coming in and queening. So say bishop d3, rook a4, this might be the best sequence, which might leave white actually okay. But white, in response to knight b4, plays c3. And now, guess what John played in this position? A great move here. if I give you 5 seconds to pause the video. Okay, rook takes e2. This celebrates that amazing diagonal. We have bishop takes e2. If a takes b4 instead, then bishop f5 check, and b1 is double check, and that's absolutely winning. For example, checkmating like that. So bishop takes e2. We have the knight coming back to d5, and it sets up all sorts of fireworks now. We have bishop e5 trying to defend. Knight takes c3, bishop takes c3, bishop takes c3, and black is in a fantastic position, a winning position here, and John just indicated to me on Facebook black went on to win. If we continue this from a theoretical point of view, this position, if f4, which hits that bishop, this does seem to be a game where, you know, pieces are being unveiled all the time with certain subtle moves. The bishop could retreat back, and if h5, knight d5, and this is really super dangerous now, knight c3, just picking up more material potentially. So knight c3, white dare not take because of knight e4 check winning the queen. So say bishop d3, black would have bishop a2. So this is ideal play from both sides. It shows that actually black really is in a winning position in that final position that John sent me. So let's have a look to that final position. So John, you will be sorely missed. You're an absolutely massive character in the chess scene. I absolutely love the opportunity to get to know you a little bit. Brilliant person. Condolences to your family and close friends and everyone. We're going to have some celebrations, memorial tournaments. Not celebrations of John's life, not his death. So celebration of John's fantastic gift to us as a chess community. He was a fantastic player, a fantastic personality. Really, he will be sorely missed. And for me, for example, the Lloyds Bank Junior 1989 was one of my better tournaments. He was around. He was there to practice blitz with. I'm really, really, really sad to hear this news. It's okay. My deepest condolences to his family. Okay.